So, go Twisted. So, the Twisted part of that deck name is Twisted Fate here. So, 2/2 for 4 with quick attack. So, decent attacker. When it comes into play, you play a Destiny card, which gives you your choice of 3 different options here. So, either you get to draw a card and refill your spell mana, deal 1 damage to all enemies and their nexus, or deal 2 damage to the strongest enemy and then stun it. So, Twisted Fate level up mechanic is when you've drawn 8 cards. And one issue kind of turbo Twisted Fate decks have had in the past is if you put a bunch of cards in your deck that draw a bunch of cards, you just end up spinning your tires and like churning through your deck, not impacting the board when you don't have Twisted Fate. Hey, Kingpin Ben, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for shipping me your Bezo bucks this month, keeping me employed. And the other part of our deck's name, the Go part, and Go Hard here is another card that really rewards us for drawing a lot of cards each game. So your first 3 copies of Go Hard, just drain 1 from a unit and then make copies of itself into your deck. And then the 4th copy turns into a Pack Your Bags, which deals 5 damage to your opponent's board and their nexus. Happy Turkey Day to you, Luck No Numbers. Thanks for the sub gifties. Good evening. To all of our new members of Hooglandia, you should check out the Discord server for the new subs. A lot of great Runeterra chat, politics, other gaming, lots of good stuff going on in there. Now, there are a few different ways to build the details in this archetype. The last time we played Go Fisted, Go Twisted. That was a heck of a mush mouth to fumble into. DJ Smith, thanks for the prime. Welcome to Hooglandia. We played 3 copies of Elise. In this build tonight, I'm only playing 2 copies of Elise. And the reason for that is one of the issues I kind of felt like we had last time was our deck kind of lacked some top-end closing power in the late game once we stalled to get there. So instead of playing 3 copies of Elise, I've got a cheeky Gangplank at the top end, which some of these builds have been playing, and something that's a little bit less common that I've elected to do here that I think sounds sweet is I've elected to play 1 copy of the Dreadway, Gangplank's Boat. So we only have 1 Gangplank to draw, but the Dreadway kind of gives us access to a second virtual copy of it as well. And the Dreadway is super cheeky if you get to tell your opponent to pack your bags while it's out, because then you'll do 10 to everything. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how it feels. Saren Shadowbane, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Okay, so Fiora Shyvana, likely an aggressive slant with these champions. Glimpse the Beyond is actually very good against Fiora because she depends on killing your units to level up. So being able to kill your own thing before Fiora gets to it is good. I think I'm mulliganing the rest of these, looking for Twisted Fate and Go Hards. This game board is great, and if you haven't seen it before, you can actually click here to change the song it plays. Riot is so good at their cosmetics, chat.
Knows me now.
I think we're supposed to play this out and get aggressive here. We get to play Elise on 2 and then attack in.
I've got your back.
I think I'm pretty okay trading these here. We have to get in for 3 and trade 1 for 1, basically.
I'll stop you.
Yeah, I've seen some Ledrosses as a cheeky 1-drop at the top end of this archetype too. I think we're supposed to just open attacks here. Because I could, if I play Zap Sprayfin and my opponent plays Shyvana or another 4-drop, I'm only going to get to attack for 2 anyways, so I might as well just get in my attack for 3 to start. To the person I just timed out for saying how easy it must be to be a woman on the internet, it's very clear that you are not a woman on the internet. As someone who has worked with a variety of other content creators, I know for a fact that, like, the volume of harassment that women tend to get on average as content creators, and just on the internet in general, is, like, real bad.
There's plenty of killing.
And a lot of the people who have the opinion that, like, oh, this must be easier for them are very clearly not working in reality, or don't have any experience. Was a troll burner account. Yeah, probably. That was their first and only message here. Probably a good observation. We're just vengeancing this, right? Well, just in case that person's not a full-on troll, we'll just leave that a timeout for now. But mods, if you see that person come back and post something nonsense again, feel free to whack them permanently. As someone who's something of a minor personality on the internet, the people that, like, go and post random stuff like that, hateful stuff about other people, just like it really makes me wonder, like, how bad must their life be, right? Like, there's no way you're someone who's, like, a healthy, well-adjusted person, and that's how you spend your time on the internet talking about total strangers. Like, almost assuredly, they do that type of thing because they personally are not in a good place in their lives. Whether or not they're able to admit that is another thing, too, though. Get him to glimpse this here. I personally don't even really love calling people like those trolls. I feel like it does a disservice to, like, what they're really doing to minimize, like, what their goal is. It's like they know what they're doing. They know they're not really funny. They have another single combat here. They can technically stop our crumble. We'll see if they do. Strafing strike. Yeah, I think that deck's fine, Quack. Guy trade here. This just, like, isn't really doing much at this point. And I think I start by just opening on attacks next turn.
Let's do this.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, JMK. Thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. Welcome back. No fury for you. Damn it, opponent, I said no fury. That's fine. We can Doom Beast into Jagged Butcher here. This game's an arms race to see who can kill Jeff's minions first. Accurate. So when this Doom Beast hits them, it levels Gangplank next turn, which is sweet. We're just gonna have a stunning Twisted Fate here for sure. If they want to hook Twisted Fate with this, that's fine for us. I think I just used my health total as a resource again here. These are my rolls. And then Gangplank, for those not familiar, when he's leveled and attacks, he deals 2 to everything. Well, 1 plus his gag. They notably do not have Judgment mana anymore. I tap down to 7. This is technically a lethal attack. This is 2/5. He has Overwhelm also. Twisted Fate does 1 reach. This does 1 reach. Still dead. Still 0. Hey, do you have another fight spell here? That should be the game, right? I believe they're on the 0 outer now. 1 mana. Three giant dragons, no life points left to use it with. Good man. The Phil, thank you for the follow. Welcome to Hoaglandia. The big dragon deck story, giant dragons, no life total. Yep. They were drag on, now they're drag off. Do you have children, J-Ray? I forget. I really hope you have children after that one. Pretty sure you're not legally allowed to make that joke without them. They are Diana Oriental here. It's a bit of a brew from the opponent. 2-year-old daughter, perfect. It all checks out then.
Lady Elise, where are you?
Where are you?
Please, I have connections.
If they go to eat my keg here, I draw a card with it. If I do this and they Bile Beast me in response, I feel really sad. I don't have anything else I really want to do with my mana this turn, though. Yeah, I'm giving them a chance to trade removal for this, which might be wrong. I don't think I want to do this into my 2-1. Just like do this, red cards your spiders attack you for 4.
Never played one. I'm a people person.
Sunlight guide you, my brethren.
This attack is bad into Pale Cascade. Yeah, I should probably just pass here. Ghosted! Thank you for the 20 months of support. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. Well, boop.
Witness glory.
Gotta go with the flow.
Kind of surprised they didn't do that pre-combat. They could have gotten a Diana to play down, right?
Like a fish in water.
That egg. Did it move?
Let's do this.
So Twisted Fate's at 4 out of 8 here towards leveling up. This puts him to 5 out of 8. Next turn's draw puts him to 6 out of 8. And then Salvage is going to level him up. So we're going to have a level Twisted Fate next turn.
For silver, my dog. For gold, I listen.
For gold, I listen. We're going to start drawing cards with Twisted Fate. Let's get Go-Hards into our deck. Alright. We're doing an extra deck tonight. My old man legs are starting to get tired, so let's sit back down.
Now this game's heating up.
Bounty bowl knows me, aye.
Soak it in.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
What's that you got there?
Yeah, it turned out really well, Seth. Super happy with the result. So my opponent's on an SI deck, so they could technically have an extinction here, right? A ruination.
There's nothing to fear.
It's a good ending board state for us, I think. So they killed my Twisted Fate. Their board is dead. We're attacking for a bunch.
All that glitters.
Worth noting, our thing is the last thing on the stack here, so they're going to get priority here, so they could play a 1 or a 2 drop out. Twisted Fate got himself some appropriate value here. And hey, look, there's another one. Sweet. Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, like, we haven't even used Pack Your Bags yet this set, right? We're still just, like, coming along.
Now, where was I?
Where was I?
Embrace the night. The is our queen, the night, her kingdom.
Now the real question here is, do they have a bastion? I'm targeting this to play around. I'm targeting this one to play around them having a Vile Feast to kill this.
Go on then.
Watch the
Go
ball,
on, man.
folks. I'm a people person.
We only have 13 cards left in our deck, but remember at least one of them is a go hard. So like we can't really deck out. Huh? Oh, this is another Twisted Fate. Huh.
Eyes open.
There's plenty of killing left.
So far I have Oyer, but we also have yet to play matches, any matches where Go Hard is good. We've mostly been playing against decks where the deal ones haven't been stellar, so I feel like my answer there is a little bit biased. Crumble and Vengeance has both been really good. Rhyme and Lucker, thanks for the follows. Appreciate that.
I cannot turn back. I will be heard.
I am reborn of salt and pride. I rarely forget. I never forgive. I won't stop coming for those who wronged me.
RPG started playing the game a few days ago and digging it. There's lots of cool keywords and mechanics. I'm not sure which ones I really want to do. What's my favorite keyword slash mechanic? Definitely Challenger. And the reason why I love units with Challenger is because they're basically the perfect mid-range threats. Because Challenger units as a mid-range threat lets you be interactive against aggressive decks because they're kind of like removal spells, but they also allow you to apply pressure against combo and control decks. And mid-range is personally one of my favorite styles of archetypes to play. Diana is probably one of my favorite champions in the game because of that. She's a really, really elegant threat for that reason. Good evening, Legacy. Happy Turkey Day. Screeching Dragon, yeah, you did great. Shyvana Screeching Dragon is a pair that I really love as well. Alright, so Draven Ezreal, again, this is a mid-range deck. Sometimes has aggressive draws, but usually looking to go a little bit longer. I'm gonna mulligan the Doom Beast, don't usually want that in the opener here. You want to draw this late when you can trigger Nightfall easily. Elise and Zap tend to both generate card advantage here, so they're both great. We're also attacking on even, so we get to play this on 2 and attack. I'm gonna keep Crumble as just kill target things, sounds reasonable. It's a solid mid-range deck. If you check out my website, jeffhoagland.com, there is a Runeterra decks page up there. And I've got, I think, about a dozen decks sorted by aggro, mid-range, and control, where you can find my current favorite deck list for that archetype, as well as a short highlight video of me playing that deck. So you can take a look at how it plays out and get a feel for if those are play patterns that you like or not. In hand, welcome to Oglandia, thanks for the follow. Another great place to look for deck lists that's actually referenced and linked on my site is Mobilinix. Has great meta pages as well. The one thing my site does that a lot of the other ones don't is I have videos, like I said, of me playing all of the decks, so you can get a little first-hand input on what they look like and how they play. I think I'm just gonna salvage into Doom Beast here. With these zaps in hand, I'm kind of encouraged to spend my mana down here, so that way I can get value out of the Attune, giving me a spell mana back. Into this trade here. I think this is fine for us. That trade is definitely fine. Yeah, in fact, I think with getting back to pack your bags in mind, I'm going to go ahead and go hard here before I zap, so that way there's 2 extra go hards in my deck when I do this, so I have a higher probability to draw them. If we're a little bit fortunate, this zap will draw a go hard, and so will this one. Great. Probably the same play, run this back before we do this, that way we have more of them in the deck. When this resolves, it puts 2 copies of it in. So, not only do we get to draw cards with this, but killing it before they Mystic Shot it means their Ezreal doesn't get a point towards leveling up, which is good.
The Sunbrock got me good. Through the coral.
Yeah, I'm actually, someone talked about scouts in chat. I'm actually not a huge fan of those Demacia aggro decks. I definitely greatly prefer the non-Demacia aggro decks. You got it. Shyvana is definitely more of my jam than like the scouts, heavier combat trick ones. So, opponent has like pretty decent looking open attacks here, but I do have this to kill their 4-1 at least. I might salvage. Do I care about the card advantage from this? Is a real question I have to ask myself. I might not. My hand is pretty full. Like, do I salvage to get the Nightfall trigger off of this? It would cost me 6 of my mana, and I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 cards in hand right now. Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Look, no numbers. I think I want to do this to keep my health total high here, so I don't get like burned out by mistake. But I don't think it's worth spending mana to salvage first. We got plenty of gas in the tank for the time being. Also notable is that like our next pack your bags is gonna be our next go hard is gonna be a pack your bags. Yeah, I like that Curvalace, Ray. Listen to this. For gold, I listen.
Be nothing left when I'm done.
This one I think I want to generate a random off of. If this night falls, it gives you a random other non-champion nightfall card. One piece of feedback I have for Runeterra that this is actually the first time I've noticed this. This card explicitly says it generates a non-champion nightfall card. There are other cards in Runeterra that generate random things that don't say non-champion, but definitely don't generate champions. Like, University of Piltover is one that comes to mind, for example. That definitely does not give you champions. Rude. Bank some spell mana here. Vengeance this when they open attacks. Goodbye, friends. They have 12 damage, but like I'm at 18. Yeah, the dragon generators don't include Shyvana is another good one. Is it too aggro to pack your bags, these two idiots? It probably is, right? Yeah, I think I need to wait for a champion. No, like, I have another 8 damage rolled up.
Gotta go with the flow.
It's close.
Oh, I hear them!
Champions can't be generated. That's not true. Things like Howling Abyss generate champions. Also, like, if champions can't be generated, there wouldn't be a need to explicitly say non-champion on things like Nightfall. There's definitely a consistency problem there. The power of passing is definitely something that newer players have to learn. It's one of the biggest skills in Runeterra for sure, is mastery of the priority system and knowing when to pass and when to not. What's my favorite Shyvana shell? Definitely the Sunny Shyvana shell with Leona. That's up on my website. Fredwick, thanks for the 37 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. All the really good competitive Runeterra streamers have a good history of the system. Alan, Swim, Mogwai, BBG, etc. His hand feels very Grixis. It does, doesn't it, Pelly? Yeah, you murdered him. He has died. What's a shell? A shell is like a core of cards.
They don't know what they're up against. Don't blink or you miss me. Yeah, it probably should have been a pass, I agree. You'll note I didn't include myself in the list of Runeterra players that are good.
Yeah, my lack of a pass there was bad. I definitely should have just held up the pack your bags. 100%.
Firing!
No way!
I mean, this is a slow spell, so I needed a passer. The pass was the issue. Would I recommend to a Escape Shift player? The Trundle Bundle deck on my website is the combo control deck if you're a Escape Shift player. Okay, so if I drop this, this puts me to 3. I pack your bags. We pack your bags. And then I drain this to gain 1, and then I open drain this to gain another 1, go to 5. So we're in a bad spot because I messed up my passing, but we have a plan to not die to this card at least. Obviously, we're dead to a stiff breeze past this, like get excited, mystic shots, etc. All these things are bad for us, but we at least are not dead to this card we know they have. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. If we draw another one of these, they die, right?
The played one. Blue as the serpentine.
Lots of things are lethal. Everybody clinch.
Time for the main event.
13 cards, about to be 15. A lot of go-hards in there.
If I kill you, I don't hurt you, stupid.
Who doesn't love a good sweat, chat? Come on, hit me, dealer.
It's a viral.
I'm really glad this is a no justice stream, you know that? If you had to be good to win at card games, I wouldn't have a chance. Just like we drew it up.
Raven down. The party has arrived.
Very, very silly. Glad we were able to pull that out with a quirky line after I messed it up. I definitely should not have salvaged when I salvaged. That game was much closer than it needed to be because I made a mistake. Sweet, glad to have you here, War. This is actually our second time we played this deck on stream. And when I'm done tonight, if you'd like to see some more of it, you can definitely check it out on my YouTube channel. There's a playlist up there that has all of the Runeterra decks that I've played year to date on it. My thoughts on the lack of hand disruption of Runeterra. Phenomenal. I think cards like Thoughtseize and Duress are shit tier game design. I hope they stay out of Runeterra. Thank you, Twisted Fate and Salvage. This could be a mirror match. Let me validate my game design opinion with an example. In my opinion, cards that constitute good game design are cards that give of your players meaningful choices to make. Cards like Thoughtseize and Duress, they serve to limit choices for one of the two players in the game. That's also very true. Being able to bluff and having hidden information is also really valuable, and you just get rid of that aspect of the game with cards like that. For people that aren't previous Magic players, when I say Thoughtseize and Duress. These are cards that let you look at your opponent's hand for 1 mana and pick any of their cards basically and get rid of it. You look at their hand for 1 mana, pick a card, discard it. They're really offensive and obnoxious. Would Raven's Crime be a reasonable Runeterra card? Sure.
He started without that.
I don't think Raven's Crime is overly offensive. Drawing cards out of your opponent's deck is very different than taking cards out of their hand, because taking cards out of their hand limits the decisions they're able to make, which I think is a really key distinguishing factor.
Let's get to it. Time to get rich.
Just run while you can.
So, normally playing Twisted Fate first is bad in the Twisted Fate mirror, because now they can gold card my Twisted Fate, but I have backup Twisted Fate, so I think that's fine.
I'm always up for a round or two.
I'm out.
Never lost a fair game. Or played one.
Insert Spider-Man meme here. Alright, do you also have a second Twisted Fate? Wicked, thanks for the follow. Welcome to Oglandia. Having a wonderful evening.
Bilge rules, son.
For folks who are new to the channel, I'm live most nights. I'm not always live with Runeterra though, so I also stream in the mornings. I do usually six sessions of Runeterra per week, some in the evenings and some in the mornings. If you enjoy the channel and want to catch more of Runeterra or anything live, my schedule is always up on my website and below the stream. Am I salvaging here? I think I'm just passing for now and seeing what they do. They still got a ton of mana.
Didn't know the box had set for you.
Don't know much, do ya?
It's, yeah, Twisted Fate doesn't seem like he lives very long in the mirror. I'm actually just going to Pool Shark here, so I have a blocker for their 2-1 next turn.
Oh, folks.
Nadam, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, that's actually what this opponent is doing, Quart. They're TFGP. I feel like 3 Gangplank is probably too many. It's just like a lot of really expensive cards with the card advantage. Hey, I played the Sunny Swain deck you've played on stream from gold straight through to diamond. Not masters yet, but I said, hey, awesome, AK. Yeah, that's definitely the Leona package is one of my favorites in Runeterra, and that's one of my 2 favorite Leona decks. You know what? With this draw, maybe I'm supposed to actually eat the 1/1 there and then do this to their 2/1.
Like a fish in water.
Could be wrong sequencing on my part there.
See nothing left.
I would keep my 1/1 around. You know, I'm gonna play Jagged Butcher out as bait here, hoping that they try to deal 1 to this, and then we kill the barrel in response. One could argue that I was a master at baiting, chat. Truly a visionary.
Keep up.
This stream is pre-recorded in front of a live Twitch audience, that is true. A salaried thespian? Why would you accuse my opponent of such a crime? We have played 0 Pack Your Bags. Our opponent has played 2, I believe, plus they just played a Zap, so we're pretty far behind from that aspect. This mirror match doesn't really feel like it's that involved from my experience playing it so far. Definitely feels like it's a arms race to get to this as Pack Your Bags first.
I'm a people person.
One of the other subs in chat on Twitch has been playing that deck with a Draven as the 6th champion and some Captain Pharaons at the top end, I know. Goat's also just a good card, though. They're not talking about Asol and Dragons. They're talking about one Oriensol in a deck that has Dragon's Touch as defined it. So it is a one of. Okay, let's stack with this.
We can't do this.
Deal. You know, I'm actually going to go ahead and do this here, because we need to kill Twisted Fate before it levels, and I think I want to be able to draw another one and kill it. How good is Diana Twisted Fate? It is not a tier 1 deck. It is the deck that I have the most fun playing in this format, but it's definitely not quite as strong as some of the other choices. Just a Twisted Fate is a heck of a drug.
Trick shot.
Lady Luck is smiling.
It's a very high skill ceiling deck. It has a lot of permutations in it. Vengeancing something here? Is it crazy to Vengeance to stay at 7? I feel like I have to save Vengeance for Gangplank.
I don't change fate, but I can see
Yeah, I agree that Oriensol should not be paired with Shyvana. That's also been my experience. I like Shyvana with Leona, personally. Yeah, I think the Violent Gems deck is great. It's another one that I like the play patterns of a lot. I think I just pass here. I'm only burning 1 mana and they're burning 3. I could play a salvage, but I don't want them to play something else as a follow-up here. That is a great draw. The next one is a pack your bags.
Keep up, keep up.
Keep up, keep up. They could have a Ruination here. It's definitely a tempo deck, J-Wall.
neither the flames nor the depths can
I think cartoon character's not too rude. That's fine. You can give Smokey Train back that one. I appreciate the thought, mods, but I think that one's okay. I am very animated when I speak. I think cartoon character can fall under descriptive. For people that are new to the channel, during high school and undergrad, I have something I actually don't talk about a ton. I actually have some formal theater training, and one of the things that I do when streaming, because it helps keep my energy up, is I project my voice from my diaphragm. It makes my voice louder and a little bit more boomy than a lot of people are used to, but it helps me keep my energy up personally, and speaking from the diaphragm as opposed to the vocal cords means that I don't wear my voice out like a lot of other people do doing this. I know it's off-putting to some people, but like doing this as a job for like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, doing that helps me keep my energy up. Jeff was a paid actor all along. That is, in fact, what I am confirming to you. Missed some follows in there. Natum and Sataka Camster and Mamu, if you're still here, welcome to the channel. Thanks for hanging out. I don't think their Go Hard is currently ready to pop. Even if it does, though, I can Unspeakable Horror to gain 2 in response, right? Oh shit, they could have Atrocity. Am I supposed to open here? You think so? No, I don't think so. Because, like, they block here, and then... I think if they replay this, that's fine for me. Because then I can go hard into it, and if they replay it, I go hard into it, and then my Overwhelm kills them. I think opening loses us pretty much. We can't beat an Atrocity, unfortunately. If they're on Atrocity, we're gonna die. We're gonna beat a pack your bags here, though. So we can gain 2 at quick speed. That's so greedy. Their deck is so greedy, and I mean, that's probably a good way to win the mirror, right? Like, their deck is playing a bunch of Gangplanks, and it's playing Atrocity, and it's playing Ledros at the top end, right? So, like, their deck is, yeah, it's very inbred for beating other mid-range and control decks, and they probably get just dumpstered by anything aggressive. I don't know how they ever, like, they probably never beat the Fearsome deck. And that's fine, you know? Usually you metagame things. Like, that game was very close. Yeah, I mean, in a mid-range mirror match, greed is very good. Vi, Ezreal, Shadow Isle. So, there was a harrowing Ezreal deck for a split second that also played Vi on occasion. Could be that. Could just be a random brew. Hard to know for sure. I think we are mulliganing these Torcos. Looking for some cheaper place to start. Yeah, could be Cornea Control. Usually Cornea Control has Elise instead of Ezreal. Gloop's been playing a Go Hard by Ezreal. Okay, sweet. Yeah, there is a Ezreal Elise Go Hard deck up on my website that's felt very, very good. Yeah, let's do this. Get these going. I don't have any respect for aggro in this house. I understand. Where am I at in terms of tournament lineups? I don't know. I have no idea. Probably Leona. Probably either Leona Shyvana or Leona Swain for one of them, and then probably the Ezreal Go Hard deck for a second. I don't really know the third. Maybe the Lux Ash deck. I don't know. I always just play decks that I like in tournaments. Card games have enough variants that, like, you should just always play decks that you like to play. The Scouts aggro is Scouts. Well, so tempo tempo is something you generate as opposed to a strict deck archetype. So a tempo, generally speaking, is a subset of an aggressive deck. So tempo decks tend to mean an aggressive deck. Tempo decks are aggressive decks with disruptive elements in them that try to trade up on mana as frequently as possible. I mean, if you actually use the word correctly, describing a deck as a tempo deck can be useful. The problem is you get into this deck needs to be agile and I need to see you at the stand-up tomorrow morning so we can check in type business jargon. People just spew words that they've heard and that they don't actually understand.
Hush now.
Yeah, I'm not. If you look on Mopalytics, there's a bunch of data up there on the Deep deck. Deep's been a reasonably performing archetype. I'm on holiday, Jeff. Don't say those words.
One shot, all skill.
All skill.
Nailed it.
Sure. So does this imply like Static Shock then?
Never lost a fair game or played one.
I mean, so the Scouts deck is just similar to most Runeterra decks in that most of the aggressive decks in this game can also play defensive roles in particular matchups and with particular draws. It did fully solidify Zigzags. It came out wonderfully. We're opening on attacks here, huh? Am I opening on attacks? It does have big Izzet vibes, Leon. I agree. What does Chronicler of Rune do in the Go Hard deck? In my experience, it just loses you games. It's not a good card. The idea behind Chronicler in the Go Hard deck is that it can blink zap. Yeah, it's like a 4th or 5th zap, but I really don't like it in practice. My experience playing with it has not been good.
You won't suffer long.
So, Zigzags, I actually have 3 pies because the two pumpkins that we bought to make filling with incidentally made enough filling for a second pie. They could be setting up for a whale. That's a good observation. Probably do this and this then, right? So this could definitely be a whale. I mean, it's not really a big deal. Like, a whale here stops my aggressive start, but I've got a ton of cards left over, right? So we're just gonna like turn into an aggressive, or turn into a control mirror. Okay, they're gonna not die early, but wait, are they just trading their Ezreal here? Yeah, deal. Deal. The crust actually turned out pretty well too, which I was surprised. The crust recipe was really simple. Just like flour, butter, water, a little bit of salt. Mix it all up in the old Ninja Blender. So next turn they could have Vi or Ezreal. So I think I bank this 2 mana here so that I can Vengeance of Vi if they have it. Honestly, if they have Ezreal, I might wanna Vengeance that. We're go harding my keg. That's rude. Fine. We should win here. I mean, I think the game's gonna be very close from here. How to rate my homemade pie versus Walmart pie? I would rate my pie 3.14 out of 5. So if I draw another salvage or a glimpse in response here, I level Twisted Fate. Think that's worth a shot. For people who are new to the channel, I have a master's degree in mathematics, so I'm licensed to make that joke. Spent some time teaching, spent some time in corporate America working as a systems analyst, and ultimately I ended up here. Thanks for joining us. Is that what that degree lets you do? Where'd I get my master's from? Illinois State, where I live here in Bloomington. So my wife and I grew up in the Chicago suburbs, and then we moved down here so I could go to grad school. And then we just fell in love with the area. Gosh, we've been here for almost a decade now.
Go with the flow.
Easiest pass of my life. That's not true, but it's definitely a pass. I had to think about it, but yeah, so we burned 2 mana there, they burned 6. Good exchange for us overall. Oh, we do have a command for my thesis. I forgot about that. Yeah, Chicago burbs are great. We grew up in, I grew up in Alsip, and then I lived in Blue Island for a little while as well. I mean, I'm pretty transparent with my community here. For people that aren't familiar with how Twitch works, so Twitch streamers of some size get $3.50 per month per subscriber. So, for example, even though I've dropped off a number of subs since coming to Runeterra for Magic, I currently still have, 1,600 some odd subscribers at the moment. So, I'm not making ninja money, but I live comfortably. When I was streaming Magic for the better part of the last 2 years, I always had between 2,000 and 3,000 concurrent subscribers in that game, so I'm solidly middle class.
Dead men tell my tale.
My wife and I are very fortunate. We enjoy our lives. Nicholson, thank you for the entire year of support. I really appreciate that. I am very happy with my middle class lifestyle. I am very fortunate and have a lot of things that other people do not. I'm painfully aware of the state of our country and what I am afforded. I also live in a place where the cost of living is very cheap. My 3,000 plus square foot home cost less than $300,000. They say location, location, location. They mean it.
Game. Go on then.
That's also true. My wife works for a major insurance company, which provides healthcare for our family because what is it? 1,600 is like $5,000 a month. The $5,000 a month or whatever I make doing this does not afford me the ability to pay for health insurance for a family of 5 in the United States.
By their entry.
For reference, we looked into what that would cost at one point. It's like $2,500 a month or something stupid. That's a lot of money. It is a lot of money.
Never Never lost a fair game or played one.
And for people who live in other countries that hear that number and you think to yourself, how does anybody afford that? They don't. They just hope not to get sick or they go broke if they do. It is a very awful system. Which, if you're new to the channel, by the way, this is a good time to let you know that during the general, we had a Biden-Harris banner on this stream. So if talking about stuff like that is going to be something that upsets you, you can change the channel.
Nothing but the stink of blood and sweat. Get to work.
We're very what you could call anti-fascist on this channel. I think we just passed here, right? The vengeance means that we don't die to... This lets us block their fearsome on open attacks. The vengeance means we don't die to atrocity. Oh, we could drain their face. That's a decent call. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to just fire that off because we're losing the mana anyways. Yeah, so when you get insurance through your job is subsidizing the price of your insurance. So like the health insurance through my wife's company, your job basically pays for half of it. All right, so they're telling us to pack our bags. So what we have to do here is we unspeakable their face in response. So that way we can play this Jagged Butcher out to block this before it can attack and kill us. And then we get to continue to hold up Vengeance to play around them having an atrocity. Which feels likely. So, I need to respond to this here with that, because I can't play two cards in a row here. Thanks for the biddies, Pilkin.
Vi stands for violence.
And then Vi means I can no longer beat Atrocity, right? Is unfortunately my reality here, because even if I play Pool Shark out here, my opponent will be able to hook this, and then Pool Shark can't block here. I think we Vengeance the Vi, because she doesn't come back. This is still a go hard. Why is their last card always Atrocity, chat? It's always Atrocity. Never not Atrocity. I thought we were gonna beat their pack their bags for a hot second there. We just needed the last one to not be Atrocity for a change. It's unfortunate, them's the beat sometimes. So, and again, like, so one of the things people I think often incorrectly do with card games is they focus too much on results. I don't think that's true. And you didn't tell me why it was a mistake, so I'm just gonna go ahead and time you out. People focus too much on the results of their games. Like, the pass that I did that you're saying was a mistake was a pass before they played Pack Your Bags. So anything I would have played out there would have died to the Pack Your Bags. Yeah, so like, sorry, to talk about that for a second there, like, if you look at my record for tonight, I don't even know what it is, because I don't keep track of it, because it's mostly pointless in my opinion. But like, two of the games that we've lost were like completely different if our opponent's last card is just anything else, right? Like twice it's like, okay, we're great here if the last one's not Atrocity, and it was, but like, you can't put a ton of weight into that game that like the deciding factor was did they have their one or two of, basically. And like, you're gonna get got by that sometimes, so you can't like put a ton of weight into that. One thing I've noticed about this deck that we're playing is we have so many good 2-drops in our deck. Our deck definitely prefers to attack on definitely prefers to attack on evens. Am I playing this out? So what am I doing? Actually, you know what? Let's play Elise. And then next turn we can go Croaker into draw a card here, attack. Even if they trade, we hit them, and then we can play this with Wonder. DJ Hoffma, thanks for the 22 months. Really appreciate that. Welcome back. Good evening.
I don't change fate if I can see it.
Today, my win rate is 56.5%. Look at that.
Bask in her radiant
Could you have gone hard the turn before it to pack your bags and have a better chance of drawing it the turn after? Maybe, but like that didn't... I guess that would have let us kill their Vi. Yeah, maybe.
Hush now. You cannot sway me.
I don't think it's strictly as simple as do you always respect Atrocity when you see Ledros, so much as how much does it cost you to respect Atrocity when they have the Ledros is like the question you really need to be asking yourself. And like that last game, for example, up until the point where they had the go hard and then they had the Vi, like respecting Atrocity didn't really cost us a lot, right? Yeah, what the opportunity cost is. And, like, we played around it up until a certain point, but after that point, it was like, well, if they've got it, they got it.
Our path by the stars.
So, I think we TF red card here. And that lets my 2-power Dorko attack into this next turn, which is nice. I don't think I'm gonna attack Twisted Fate in here, because I would prefer he didn't die to a Pale Cascade. Well, that's terrifying. Turn 5 Cosmic Inspiration.
There's plenty of killing there.
Alright, let's try and level Twisted Fate, huh? Are you insinuating that conservatives are fascists? I am not insinuating anything. Donald Trump and his GOP enablers have all the classic signs of fascism. So I apologize if that wasn't clear. Fuck Donald Trump and fuck his fascist supporters. There's just so there's not a, I wouldn't want there to be a lack of clarity. I believe in speaking very clearly, so yes. And if you don't think that Donald Trump is a fascist, I would encourage you to retake a history lesson and compare everything that Donald Trump and the people that defended him and supported him have done and the parallels that they have to Nazi Germany. There are a disturbing number of parallels.
Keep up, keep up.
Thanks for the sub, Kanye. I appreciate it.
The dawn has arrived.
Carry her light across the mountain.
I'm really looking forward to the day where that man is just like a stain in a prison cell somewhere and I just don't have to worry about him. I would love to never think about that man ever again. Six out of 8. He's getting ready to level up here. I don't mind throwing away some blockers here because I want to play out Pool Shark anyways because the card from Pool Shark plus my card for the turn is going to level this up, which is great. Thanks for the follow, Old Grade Monster and Goggle Stick. Welcome to the channel.
Game. Go on then.
Watch the ball, folks.
Good to have you here either way, I'm dumb.
Now this game's heating up.
Are we supposed to just vengeance something here? What if we start with go hard, so that way we can see if they play out a bigger threat? I full-time Runeterra, do I alternate between that and Magic? I am not 100% Runeterra, but I also don't play Magic anymore. I do about 50% of my content is Runeterra, and the other 50% is a mix of variety games that I'm enjoying. I have a Nintendo Switch and a PlayStation 5, and they both have a lot of sweet games on them. There's odds on whether or not he'll be banned for Twitter. God, I hope so, Kanye. I really hope so. What are your thoughts on Kalista instead of Elise in this deck? I think I really like Elise for curve purposes. Like, attacking with Elise on turn 2 in this deck is very good in a lot of situations. Are you doing any in-person tournaments for that conductor Magic? Yeah, probably. I miss traveling to events on occasion. The people are definitely the best part of Magic, but like that's also really far off. I don't know, we'll see. Like there's a chance that like if I decide I want to travel a little bit more, that like my wife and I just like travel and don't play tournaments while I travel. So if I play the go hard here, this is gonna deal 1 to this, and then gold card's gonna happen and stun this, which will put her down to 1 toughness, which means when I red card next turn off a Twisted Fate, she'll die.
Dead in their tracks.
You know, so this has... Oh, this doesn't have +3 temporary toughness. We just attack with these. If they block with this, it dies to red card. Actually sounds pretty good, huh? Yeah, let's do it. Try and end this game. They're at 11.
No mercy for heretics.
So red card is killing both of these at the moment, which is great. And then gold card finishes this or stuns whatever their follow-up is. I mean, this is fine. Like their best possible play here with whatever their hand is doesn't play to the board is so good for us. Holy gosh, are they dead? They're probably dead, right?
Like a fish in water.
I think we even have a command. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, that's how you earned your timeout. Take a quick breath, ponder mistakes before you start to shout. I didn't write that, but it's excellent. One of our channel mods wrote that.
Devotion through battle.
Follow the path.
Something the matter.
Thoughts on the mono target invoke archetype the opponent is playing? I haven't played this deck specifically, but in other similar variations, I have not been impressed with Oriensol alongside Leona. Oriensol in this type of shell to me has always felt like extraneous top end. Yeah, I definitely I like the Diana Leona. In my experience, the Leona Daybreak shell doesn't have a problem running out of cards in hand, and Oriensol just like gives you a bunch of card advantage that you like never live to use. Has been my experience at least. I think mostly Targan or mono Targan with Leona Diana is pretty reasonable, but I've never felt like I needed this at my top end. Happy Thanksgiving, DJ. Thank you for the 2/3 view. I appreciate the prep. Welcome back. So, I think I actually want to keep Vengeance in my hand. So what I'm actually gonna do here is salvage Glimpse, and then red gold to kill this. Because this stops working if we kill their thing in response. Because Twisted Fate is really good. You're not level Twisted Fate is very difficult to beat. I might have wanted to attack with Twisted Fate. Yeah, maybe. Maybe attack with them was fine. I don't know. Yeah, it probably was pretty low cost to attack with in there.
Darkness hides in your path.
Let's pack your bags do. It deals 5 damage to their board and their life total. It ends the game. Generally speaking, it ends the game.
There'll be nothing left when I'm done.
It costs 1 mana because you gotta set it up, right? You gotta play through 3 slightly worse cards. I agree with you that I'm not sure it should cost 1 mana, but that's the thought process. How does Pack Your Bags work? So the first 3 times you cast Go Hard, it puts more copies of itself into your deck. And then the 4th one is the Pack Your Bags.
Where was I?
I agree. I think you could make this card cost up to like 4 or 5 mana and it would still be playable. Yeah, they always shuffle back in. So eventually it's a high level of inevitability. Your opponent is going to eventually die to it. Because eventually, and like that's what this deck does well, is we've got all of these things. Am I doing this? I feel like I'm doing this. Sure.
Eyes open.
You've killed my Twisted Fate. It's nice when 0 mana Plague Wing hits, isn't it? Ruben said he thinks Pack Your Bag should cost more too. Yeah, that sounds reasonable.
None are lost. They only await the dawn. Suppose you want in on this.
Oh, suppose I should leave you be.
I'm gonna kill this now just in case they have another judgment. Just like, make sure that isn't an option. Oh yeah, that's true too. If it cost more, Zap couldn't draw it once it was transformed.
Let's do this.
Sweet. It feels like a good one to end on. Like opponent got the turn 5, give all my units +2/+2, and we just like ran them down anyways. Twisted Fate's a heck of a drug, chat. Alright, so thoughts on this archetype after playing it again. I feel like I'm confident in saying I want some number of Gangplank in this deck. I feel like I definitely want at least 4 removal spells. The mix of both Crumble and Vengeance, the top end of our curve, felt really good. Not having, what's it called in my deck? Chronicler of Rune? Is that its name? This card was really awful last time we played it, and I did not find myself missing it at all. So yeah, I was pretty happy with this 40. The one cheeky card was like the Dreadway. We never really drew this card at opportune times when it was useful, but like I really like the idea of it in practice because I feel like I want more Gangplank, but I'm also really happy with Elise. I think some of our best starts involve Elise on 2, especially when you're attacking on evens. So I think overall I would probably leave this as is if I was going to play this archetype again. I don't think I would have any changes after playing this set through. Would you prefer a Ledros is the question, I think. Sure. Yeah, that could be a reasonable question. Like this is probably just worse, just cuter than a Ledros. I think that's probably a reasonable assertion that this is a cheeky card and you should play Ledros. Yeah, the Chronicler's just really narrow, and its stat line is really mediocre for a 4-drop. So, all right, thanks everybody for hanging out tonight. We had a ton of new followers. I really appreciate all of y'all. Remember, like I mentioned, I have a YouTube channel where not only does everything I stream end up there, but I also do highlights as well for shorter decks every single day. My average schedule in a week, for folks that are new to plug myself for a minute, I'm usually live for a few hours every morning and a few hours every evening. I'm planning to do more Legends of Runeterra tomorrow night in the same time slot. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to be continuing a playthrough of Deus Ex Human Resolution, which is a single-player, story-driven shooter/stealth game that we've been playing. Also, to show some of the other awesome stuff I have my website, jeffhoagland.com, where there is this Runeterra decks page where I keep a list of decks that I've played a number of times in the past. You can click in by archetype, and then you click into a specific deck. There's a deck list up here with an easy-to-copy deck code, as well as one of my highlight videos of me playing that deck, so you kind of get a feel for what it looks like before you craft it or decide if you want to play it yourself. So there's a dozen or so deck lists up there. Various different archetypes. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Hope to see some of you around again soon. Everybody stay safe out there, and good night.